Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, and today I'm going to be reviewing Justice League, the newest installment of the DC Extended Universe. Yeah, let's just get right to it. I'm going to go ahead and say spoiler alert, because there are some things that I want to talk about that are technically spoilery. So, and plus, I don't want to let something slip out and people will be like, oh, well, that's a spoiler. You should have warned us. So, I'm going to go ahead and say spoiler alert. I'm not going to get too heavy into spoilers, but that's basically just so I can just talk, basically. Also, I don't know if you can really hear this in my voice. My throat is a little dry, but yeah. I'm going to be coughing through some of this. So, yeah. I'm like a little bit sick. Not by much. So, yeah, I'm going to be coughing during this. So, yeah. Right off the bat, let me just say Justice League is good. Like, holy crap, I really like this movie. Is it as good as Wonder Woman? Basically, I'm just going to give you the thoughts right off the bat. Is it as good as Wonder Woman? No, it is not. It is not as good as Wonder Woman. Is it better than the previous DCEU films, that being Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad? Yes, it is better than those movies. Is it a masterpiece? No. Is it honestly, is it just great? No, but it's really, really good, I would say. It's obviously not on the level of the Avengers, it's not on the level of Wonder Woman, but I'd say this is a pretty solid flick. So, some time has passed since Batman v Superman. Superman is still dead, obviously. And basically, I say basically a lot, don't I? So anyway, it's been some time since Superman died, the world is still in mourning. And because Superman has died, it's basically like, not really that all hell has broken loose on Earth, but basically, the Earth is not in balance. There's no, beacon of hope out there. That's even what they say. So because of this, there's this guy named Steppenwolf, not to be confused with the band, and he's like, the Earth is in, disarray. They're unorganized, they're ripe for the taking now that this Kryptonian is dead. So he comes in and he is looking for the 3 mother boxes, that's it, boxes. I want to call them mother cubes, but they're actually called mother boxes. So yeah. So he wants to get these 3 so he can destroy the world. They say that years and years ago there was a big war with Steppenwolf on Earth where the Amazons, the Atlanteans, some of the gods, and even the humans no one take a drink every time I say the word basically. Don't do it. I need to take a drink though. Don't turn this into a drinking game of every time I say basically you take a shot. Don't do it. I'm watching you. Okay, so everyone on Earth fights Steppenwolf, and it's not an easy battle. A lot of people die, but at the end of it, Steppenwolf has to retreat, and they make a point that this is the first time he's had to retreat, and that kind of drives him crazy because he's never been defeated. Until he got to Earth. So they take his 3 mother boxes and they split them up. So the Amazonians take one of them, the Atlanteans take one of them, and this is kind of where we get a separation of the people on Earth. So the reason why the Amazonians have never showed up before Wonder Woman, basically, freaking word, you're gonna stop, quit drinking. The reason the Amazons have not shown up until Wonder Woman is that they have been basically exiled to Themyscira to guard the mother box, their mother box. And then the Atlanteans take one of the mother boxes, and I'm gonna start saying mother cubes because that sounds better than mother boxes. A box. Ooh, how about a cube? That sounds, better. So the Atlanteans, that's why there are no Atlanteans until Aquaman shows up and starts doing stuff. We'll talk about him in a moment. But they're kind of they sort of club together in Atlantis, stay away from the humans. The humans just bury their mother cube. There's just like a couple of humans, they just dig a hole, it's like not even 6 feet deep. They just put it in there, bury it, it's gone. And apparently, like, they don't tell anyone where it is, so no one knows where that last one is. Until, flash forward to the future, first of all, Steppenwolf comes back because Superman has died, which is an interesting way of, an interesting reason for why he's showing up now, is because the world is, the Earth is in disarray after Superman's death. So he figures, hey, it's a great time to come conquer people, So he comes in, he takes the mother cube from the Amazonians, he takes it from the Atlanteans. This is how they bring in Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman gets the message that's like, oh crap, Steppenwolf's here, I gotta do something. Aquaman also figures out, oh crap, Steppenwolf is here, I gotta go do something. They team up with Batman and Batman, who's kind of been doing this for a while. He's kind of been tracking the parademons and stuff. Like, one of the parademons showed up in Gotham. So, I guess some of them were sent there to preempt an invasion by Steppenwolf. So he's on the case of that already. He also recruits Barry Allen, the Flash. Not Barry Allen from the show. This is a different interpretation of Barry Allen. We'll get to that in a minute. And yeah, and they also get Victor Stone, Cyborg, who he comes into it. He comes into the picture because Star Labs basically found the third Mother Cube, the one that the humans buried, and his father used the power of the Mother Cube to make Cyborg into Cyborg. So, because they have that one there, it's not exactly active, but it is there. Steppenwolf has to go after that one too. So they do all this, and basically, so the thing is, they fight Steppenwolf at first, and they all start getting their butt kicks. Batman, doesn't have his powers, so he's, relying on all his gadgets. Which keeps him in the fight a little bit, but even he knows, it's hard to keep up with Steppenwolf and the parademons. Barry has no experience in fights, so he's basically learning in the field how to be a hero. Wonder Woman and Aquaman, well, Aquaman doesn't show up yet in this first fight. He basically shows up at the end of the first fight with Steppenwolf. Wonder Woman seems to be the most competent person there, but even at that, she's not strong enough, basically, to beat Steppenwolf. And then Cyborg is there, and he's helping, but he's not. But the team is not working out quite right. So Steppenwolf retreats for a little bit, and they basically. So the team is all together. They have the 5 of them, and Batman gets this brilliant idea of using the Mother Cube to bring Superman back to life. And he says, look, we cannot beat Steppenwolf alone. None of us are strong enough to take on Steppenwolf, but Superman is. So they do that. There's a bit of a debate on if they should do it, because you're bringing someone back from the dead. Is that going to mess with him and stuff? Which it kind of does, but they do it anyway. So Superman's back. Hey, look at that. And yeah, he's not all there when he comes back. He kind of looks around. He's confused. He's not sure who he is quite yet. And he ends up attacking them. he ends up attacking them, and they have to fight back. And I love this scene where they're all trying to fight him, and they just can't. They're not powerful enough. Like, he keeps knocking them down. And this is one of my favorite things. At one point, Wonder Woman grabs one of his arms, and Aquaman grabs his other arm, and Cyborg pins him down like this, and they're all trying to just, restrain him. And Barry basically, this basically leaves the back of Superman vulnerable. So I guess his thought was, well, I'll go around and I'll get him from behind. So he starts running around Superman, and we get this nice slow-mo shot. So while Barry, is doing his running, we see Superman, and he starts to turn his head, and he's looking straight at Barry, and he's watching him as he runs, and that's when you realize Superman is really fast. He is really fast. So basically what he does is he takes the 3 heroes that are on him, chucks them all aside, and he goes and he fights Barry. Now, he's not as fast as Barry, I don't think. Even though he's pretty fast. Like, he is, he's doing his punches, and Barry is just, barely dodging out of the way. So, I think technically Barry is faster, but Superman is really fast and really strong. Eventually, Batman gets out there, and Superman's just like, oh, I know you. And he goes over, he gets him, he holds him up, just by his jaw, and he's like, so, you wouldn't let me live, and now you won't let me die. And it's really intense stuff, and you can tell, Superman, he's confused, but in his confusion, he's pissed. He is really pissed at everything. And so, this great line, he's just like, tell me, do you bleed? And it's one of those, chilling things that's never piss off Superman. So, so that happens. The way they calm him down is Lois shows up. Batman basically has Alfred bring Lois there to try to snap Clark out of it, and it works. Seeing Lois there, he's like, okay, I need to calm down and stop being angry. So that's good. It's a great scene of really just showing how powerful Superman is. I really like it. Let's see, what else is there to really talk about? Because I could keep going with the plot. I'm gonna, we're gonna shift a little from the story to the characters, and I'm gonna tell you how I like all their performances. So, let's start with, I guess, the core Justice League. Batman. He's basically the same as he was in Batman v Superman. Well, okay, he's not trying to kill Superman. He's not being an a-hole, but it's still very much the same performance. He's still Batman, and he's a great Batman, I think. Yeah, Ben Affleck. Again, I'm sorry for ever doubting you, man. I know you're not watching this. I know Ben Affleck is not watching this video, but I remember when I really doubted Ben Affleck, and you know what? Props to you, man. You proved me and a bunch of people wrong. You are a really solid Batman. I would say better than Christian Bale, who I know that's I guess a sacrilegious thing to say. It's you're not supposed to say anything bad about the Dark Knight movies. I like the Dark Knight movies, but I don't think they're great, honestly. I'd have to watch them again, but but I will say, Ben Affleck, I'd say better than Christian Bale. Maybe not on the level of Michael Keaton, but he's pretty good. He's pretty close. And maybe not on the level of Kevin Conroy. Those two are kind of the top Batman. So I'd say Ben Affleck, you're just a little bit under them. Which, hey, that's pretty good, honestly. So you're pretty great. Obviously better than Val Kilmer and George Clooney and Adam West. It's hard to even put Adam West in there, because not that he was a bad Batman, but he's such a different Batman. So I'd probably put Adam West over Val Kilmer and George Clooney, though. Not the point. Ben Affleck, really liked him. I just like Batman in this. It was interesting because it's not the very brooding Batman that we're all used to. Like, it's interesting to see him, working with other people. He assembles the Justice League, basically. He's like, no, we need to do this. We're a team and stuff like that. It's really interesting, and it's definitely an interesting take on Batman, because Batman's never really like that. And granted, he's brooding and stuff, but it's a bit of a different Batman, is basically what I'm saying. Moving on, Wonder Woman, still amazing. She was amazing in BVS. She was amazing in her own movie. Her in this, great, amazing, love her. Best part of the movie, I'd say, probably. Yeah, she's just great. She's really great. Great scenes, great acting. Yeah, just great. Nothing I can say about that. About her. Nothing else I can say about her. Moving on. Moving on, I guess, would be Aquaman. Aquaman, I feel like we didn't get enough of him, really. I'll go ahead and say this is a 2-hour movie, and I'm pretty sure they had to cut things out to get it to 2 hours. So I feel like we might have missed a few scenes of Aquaman. Because Aquaman, it seems like he doesn't want to be a part of the Justice League, and then he's part of the Justice League. And he doesn't want to bring Superman back to life, but then he's okay when Superman is alive. And then, he's saying like, oh, well, we're all going to die at the hands of, Steppenwolf. And then he goes in, and he's all like happy and cheerful when he's fighting, parademons and stuff. So it's not the best characterization, I guess, and not the best writing, but I thought he was pretty good. He was entertaining. Barry Allen, so different from the show. Me, I'm used to the show. I love the Flash television show. In fact, can you even see I'm wearing a Flash shirt? I was going to wear my Superman shirt, but I don't know where that is. I have a Batman shirt too, but I don't know where that is either. So, I have a Flash shirt. If I had a Wonder Woman shirt, I would have worn that instead. Over everyone else, I would have worn a Wonder Woman shirt. Anyway. So yeah, he is very different in this movie than in the show. But it works. Now, I don't know how he's going to be able to carry his own movie. I'm not quite convinced he can. But as a side character, I thought he was pretty solid. It's obvious, he's the bright, innocent one. He's not used to this sort of stuff. He's kind of goofy and, a little quirky. But that really works for this. And I kind of feel like he is what Marvel wanted with Spider-Man in Civil War. It's like a character that does not take a lot of the focus away from everyone else. He doesn't take focus away from the other characters, but he's young, innocent, and quirky. I feel like this is what they wanted with Spider-Man, but I don't think they got that right in Civil War. I think they did a little better in Spider-Man Homecoming, but Civil War, I feel like this is what they tried to do, and it didn't work. So here, I like Barry Allen. I think he's, fun. He's, kind of, goofy and quirky, like I said. And he is just so different from the show that it works for me. So, moving on, we have Cyborg. Cyborg, I was a little worried from the trailers that he was going to be kind of bland and boring. Because he seemed very serious, which when you understand his backstory, it makes a lot of sense, and you start to hear like what happened to him. It makes a lot of sense why he's that way, but eventually he did start cracking a smile. He would crack a joke here and there or something. So he wasn't like a buzzkill or anything. So I thought he was good. We just didn't get a lot of him, kind of like Aquaman. Superman. Holy moly, Superman. I don't know what happened here, but they got him. They got Superman. They understood the character. I'm going to say this right now. The first scene of the movie, they capture Superman perfectly, I think. The first scene, the opening scene of the movie is Superman focused. Superman's the only character there. And to me, that was the most Superman that Henry Cavill has been in all of these movies. And honestly, his entire performance, it was just It was Superman. He cracked a smile. He had a couple jokes, some one-liners. It was happy. It was fun. It was bright. He wasn't, brooding in the corner or something like in the other movies. It's like, no, he's happy. He's Superman. There was one point in the final battle where, because he has super hearing, so he heard people, screaming in the city, and and he was just like, civilians, and there are civilians in danger. And Batman's like, well, don't worry, Barry's on it. And Superman just takes off. He's like, no, I gotta go help them. So, thank you. He cares about civilians. Thank you. So, honestly, I don't know what happened between Batman v Superman and this. Somehow they got the character of Superman down. I really like this Superman. This is exactly what Superman should have been, and he was a lot of fun. I really liked him in this movie. In terms of the other characters, there's not a lot. Lois is in here, and she's just kind of there. She doesn't have a lot going on. Some good dramatic acting, but not a lot going on. Kind of the same with Ma Kent. There's not much of her there. Just some dramatic acting. In terms of everyone else, the Amazonians, they were the Amazonians. They were good, but there was nothing. They didn't really stand out. And I think it was Mera, in Atlantis. I don't know, she had a few lines. She was alright. Nothing special. And now we come to Steppenwolf. The main villain of this entire movie. He's alright. Nothing special, really. What a throwaway villain, really. It's like, he comes down and he's like, I will destroy the world. And they're like, no. And he's like, darn it. I didn't destroy the world, and now I'm gone. That was it. He had, one funny line, because he was interrogating people on where the Mother Cube was. And, so he grabs someone by the throat and holds them up, and he's about to kill them, and they're like, no, please, we have families. And he's just like, why does everyone keep telling me that? Snap. Throw. It's like, yeah, that was it. That was really the only funny line. He's not memorable in the slightest. He's not even a good design on him. He's just not memorable. And honestly, that's starting to become the trend with the DCEU, is they don't have good villains. Marvel doesn't really have great villains. There are some good villains in there. Loki, Hela, Ego was pretty good. If you go into S.H.I.E.L.D., Bill Paxton was amazing in S.H.I.E.L.D. I liked Andrew Whitehall and stuff, but Daniel Whitehall. Why do I keep thinking Andrew Whitehall? It's Daniel Whitehall, excuse me. But yeah, in the DC movies, we're starting to lose good villains. We honestly haven't really had a good villain since the Joker in The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight, excuse me. But yeah, just going to The Dark Knight Rises, Bane was not that great. He was kind of entertaining, but not that great, and Talia was not that good either. Going into the DCEU, Zod, I liked Zod, but he was just kind of, It's like, he was meh and he was over the top at the same time. I'm not sure how he did that, but it was kind of interesting. Lex Luthor was not good, as I've said before. The Enchantress in Suicide Squad was not good. Ares was okay, but there wasn't a lot of him in Wonder Woman. And now we have Steppenwolf, who's just there. Who cares? So, yeah, it's a very throwaway villain, but Now, the good thing about Steppenwolf is that he's just Steppenwolf. There's no setup. I'll tell you that right now. This is a very self-contained movie. It doesn't really set up like a Flash movie or a Cyborg movie. You know those movies are coming, but it doesn't set up plot lines for that. It doesn't, Steppenwolf comes down and they're like, oh, Steppenwolf, he's, bad news. But they don't say like, oh, he works for Darkseid or something. so you know Darkseid is coming in the next movie. It's like, no, he just is Steppenwolf. You know, he's just a being, an evil being of his own accord. And so, yeah, I like that this is a very self-contained movie. I thought that was really good. You know, it's not like Batman v Superman where they're setting up like 10 different movies. This was just a self-contained story, and I really like that. And it focused on one plot line, which was really good. It wasn't like a complicated plot line. It's like, Steppenwolf is here. Batman's like, oh shit, let's bring in the Justice League, you know. Let's assemble the team. And then when the team gets his butt kicked, he's like, okay, let's revive Superman and have him be part of the team. And that's it. And then they go fight Steppenwolf and boom. He's done, because Superman is really powerful in this movie. Like, it is impressive how powerful Superman is, which is not really built up to if you watch Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, but you can argue that he got a power-up from being brought back to life by the Mother Cube. But anyway, we're going on, well, on the recording it says 27 minutes. I think we're a little less than 27 minutes, but yeah, this was really fun to talk about. So overall impression, Justice League was good. I really like this movie. Again, it's not as good as Wonder Woman. It's not a great movie, but it's a really, really good, solid flick, I think. And if you've been like, okay, DC movies have been good and Wonder Woman was amazing, then you'll like this. If you hated the other movies, I don't know if you're really going to like this one. I'm not sure. And, well, okay, if you love Wonder Woman, you're at least going to like Wonder Woman in this. There's something for you. Yeah, so it was really good. It was really fun. I love it. It was amazing. Again, not as good as Wonder Woman, but no one can beat the Queen, I think. So, except the first Captain America movie. That's the best movie ever made. And I will keep telling you that as often as I can. But in terms of DC movies, Wonder Woman is still the best, just of all time. And I'd put Justice League in there somewhere. Probably in the top 5, maybe a little lower if we put in Batman 89. But Justice League would probably be in the top 5 DC movies for me. So yeah, that is basically it. If you want to hear me talk about more DC crossovers, stick around. Later this week I'm going to be talking about the CW crossover Crisis on Earth X. That is a crossover between Supergirl, The Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow. I don't know when exactly I'm going to be able to get that up, so just expect it sometime within the week. Probably before Saturday, I would say. And then, yeah, that's basically it. So, end cards are going to pop up right about now. You can click on those. You can follow 7th Hour Films on Twitter, at 7th Hour Films. And that is basically it. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.